Welcome everybody to the culminating experience presentation for the 2020 continuing class, and this is the will be the last presentation of the day, and also the last presentation of this whole group of really resilient students that went through the pandemic first when it happened and still came with amazing music and proposal. And it's such a pleasure to end this cycle with Anastassiya Petrova. Anastasia piano and organist from Kazakhstan, and she's been with us a long time now. She's one of our old-standing students. I think, Anastasia, you were in the preparatory in 2016 or 2017, and you've been part of this community, of this family since then. And right now, you also are the graduate assistant of the institute. So you're very much embedded in this community, and it's really wonderful to finish this cycle with you and your presentation in Visual Women. You have in your panel, as a panelist, you have Maestra Alain Mallet, that is connecting from France now, and Maestra Patrizia Zarate, and I was your advisor, and I'm very proud of that. And if you're ready, we would like to give you the go ahead for your presentation.
Thank you. When I came to the United States, I was truly shocked by the amount of homeless people in the country that promised dreams and claimed to be one of the most developed countries in the world. Those people weren't hiding in suburbs, they were in the heart of the city. They were at Harvard Square, Copley Square, Boston Public Library, and near Berkeley. They were visible to me, they are visible, and they will be. I volunteered at Women's Lunch Place near Copley Square as a performer, and a couple of days at Harvard Homeless Shelter as a kitchen assistant. Those experiences changed my life. The purpose of my project is to shed light on the issue of female homelessness, show how it differs from male homelessness, and document the issue and explore ways that could help. On a single night, there are roughly 580,000 homeless people on the streets of the US. 30 to 40% of them are women. Homelessness knows no boundaries. The following pictures were taken by Ivan Besedin, a social photographer from my hometown. Aygul is a homeless woman whose face color earned her the nickname Skоворodka, frying pan in Russian. One of my mentors said, as a musician, I'm two bad decisions away from being homeless. This could be him. This could be me. This could be your relative. This could be you. We talked about homelessness in general, Now I would like to present a personal story of a homeless painter in Boston, Stacy Williams. The next story is about a powerful pianist improviser in Melbourne, Australia, who happened to be homeless. Her videos went viral and she's not homeless anymore. However, she always comes back to the street to play the piano for people because what matters to her is to be surrounded by people. She doesn't want to perform in a concert hall, she refused to record in a studio. She wants to be among people and play for all. As artists, we could empower. As citizens, we could elect. As friends and neighbors, we could recognize the transitional stage of homelessness and never let it happen to those we care about. As volunteers, we could serve the community. As humans, we could love.
Congratulations, Anastasia, for this beautiful presentation. And I know that as part of your CE, you also, in your research, you also compile some resources that I think it would be important for you to share.
I want to start by saying that throughout the years, Berklee Global Jazz Institute helped me realize that music can be more than just self-expression tool. And thus, my next steps for this project would be releasing the music, then creating a fundraiser for the daytime shelter I worked with, Women's Lunch Place. And in the farthest future, I would like to create a music program at the shelter. I also wanted to mention that I compiled a list of resources because a lot of the times people sometimes don't know where to call, where to go. And these are the links that you can use to learn more about how we could help. We could volunteer, as I mentioned. We could volunteer at soup kitchens and shelters, an organization preventing homelessness and offering domestic violence recovery services. We could empower, and I added 2 links to 2 inspiring stories by one of the artists who creates portraits of homeless people and uses proceeds from sold paintings for their rehabilitation. And also Joshua Combs, who travels around the world and he gives haircuts, and that's his way to give back to the community. Also, when we talk about donations, a lot of the times we associate that with money, but apparently one of the most valuable currencies is time. So, for example, Friends of Boston Homeless, they have a program where you could host a tutoring session on computer knowledge or on health and wellness, or provide any yoga activities for homeless people. And that way you would be serving the community in the way of donating your time. And of course, it never hurts to donate emergency kits, clothing, as well as financially support the shelters and organizations who provide affordable housing, like the one that is mentioned above, Habitat for Humanity. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Anastasia. And please know that as your advisor, I've been seeing you developing this project over a year and a half, 2 years really. I'm extremely proud of everything you presented here, and especially the music is so wonderful. And I know there's a lot of people that have been participated in this, in support of your project. And I think Alan Mallet has been also a very important figure in this CE you presented. So Alan, if you want to have a comment or a question for Anastasia, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, gosh, it feels like we started this ages ago. And I don't think since I've been part of these presentations, I don't think I've actually had the opportunity to see somebody grow so much musically, as well as, seeing their presentation develop, because it feels like you started this a while back and you went through a lot of transformations, actually. So I'm going to try to not be too emotional. Let me talk about something benign. First of all, I really love how you are hearing both instruments, the piano and the organ, as distinct voices. I actually love this. I think it's a lot harder to accomplish than most people realize, because it's very easy to think that it's just a keyboard and you just play the same stuff on both, and you don't, and you're really starting to develop a sense for what the organ has to accomplish or has to bring to the picture on top of your wonderful piano playing, which also is something, you know, that has evolved a lot. And I know that maybe I should make a special mention for the fact that I tell every student who comes my way, I tell them the same thing. Don't take what I say as advice. It's an opinion. And one of the reasons why I say this is because very often the way I voice things and the way I word things is very powerful, very strong. I'm very passionate about what I say, and I'm always afraid to actually either torment people or terrify them into doing what they think they should do to satisfy me. And the reason why I mention this is because you're probably the quintessential case of somebody who heard me and went completely the other direction. And I just love that about what you did. Because it did, as Marco said, it really came out fantastic. It's not like that I didn't want you to do this music. I just so everybody understands. But when the pandemic hit, I really tried to use this as an opportunity, especially for people like Anastassiya, to actually build an entire presentation based on her alone, using the piano and the organ as the two core instruments. And she did one piece that way, which I loved, and didn't make it to not in that form, didn't make it to the presentation. But then she decided she really wanted to have it be some other way. And she's such a strong personality that the idea that it could be a problem never even entered the space between us. It just, I think one day she just said, I really just want to do it. I want to have the rhythm section. And I said, okay, fine. And that was it. That was the last discussion we had about it. But still, she had to take a total 180 from what I was suggesting. And that's a testament to the strength and the character of this young woman. I'm not going to go on forever. Sorry. As far as the project itself, right now it's hitting me straight to the heart because, as some of you know, I am home right now. I am back in my childhood home. And what you see behind me is the room where I grew up. And I'm here because of my mother. And the day when my mother disappears, this home will disappear. And so home is not a place. Home is a state of mind. There's also somebody living in this house right now who doesn't have a safe place, even though she is home. But she doesn't have a safe place in her head. And so this idea of being safe somewhere, some people can travel the world and not even have a fixed address and feel very safe. And some people can be in the best of environment and feel homeless regardless. And it's a very deep and profound subject matter. It has many, many layers and many, many different forms and many different ways that it can be addressed. And I think that all your suggestions and the heart that you put into it is really inspiring, and it touches me a lot, especially in this day. So thank you for doing this, and I hope you stick to it, and I wish you the best of luck with it. And I love you.
Thank you, Alan.
Shut me up now. Somebody cut off my microphone.
Yes, I'm gonna cut you out. But this was beautiful. It was beautiful, and also a testament of Anastassiya vision and also experience, because like you said, you know, you put it very well. A lot of part of this project for you, Anastassiya, is also, you know, your own personal being away from your home and having to struggle all these years as a student and you know, and finding always the strengths and the energy to do wonderful things. And I think that it's nice that all the community is here now and sees this and really we all proud of you. And I think Patrizia also helped you a lot with this project. So Patrizia, why don't you comment or question something?
Yes, I'd like to say that I also love you, Anastassiya. And that I'm a big fan, so I'm biased, and I'm going to find everything you do, I'm going to find that is wonderful. One thing that I would like to ask you to comment about is the relationship between the musical process. How did you go through the musical process and transfer, represented, thought about the things, that specific things that are female about this subject, like from things that are very, you know, basic, like hygiene, you know, to things that are more complex, like violence, which is one of the reasons why so many women are homeless, because of violence. So I wanna hear a little bit of that process, of that musical process. How did you think about those, you know, female themes, and either transfer it to your musical process or transfers to the music or represented it in the music?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for all the love. I'm holding my tears, like very barely holding them. But about the musical process, I have to say that each composition was a story in a way, because the first one, the one that was called "A Story to Be Told," I was imagining a woman that goes through a completely normal life cycle, and suddenly she gets something happens in her life and she gets depressed. Because I saw those stories. I was at the annual fundraiser for the Women's Lunch Place, and I saw those stories. We couldn't hold tears when we heard those stories, because those were the people that had absolutely normal life until one moment that changed life completely, and they wouldn't be able to go back unless someone helped them. So the story to be told was exactly it. It starts as a normal piece with normal voicings, normal harmonies, and then it goes into a more darker place with a different instrumentation, and then it develops because that person transitions from normal to homeless, and hopefully goes back in the end, because there is a light of hope in the end. Another composition that was dedicated to a person from my hometown, from Almaty, that was called Skоворodka. In that case, I used two images by the social photographer from my hometown. And probably you could notice that in the first image, where the women are sitting, the first image was accompanied by a very dark beginning. So I used minor chords, I used minor major 7 chords in particular to create this vibe. And then once it transitions to the slide where the person is sleeping on the floor, I completely changed the direction to major chords, because when they sleep, that's when they feel safe, hopefully, until someone bothers them. But basically, sleep or alcohol, any substance abuse, that's the escape point where they feel safe. Same approach I applied to the Stacy's Dream, which was based on the painting by the homeless painter from Boston. And she is sleeping on the picture, and the picture is very colorful. There are all sorts of African patterns surrounding her, and she dreams about her grandchildren not ever experience homelessness. And I was thinking, since she's sleeping, she's safe in that place, and she's in the dream. So I was trying to capture the dream, and that's how it's basically called, Stacy's Dream. And last example, Lost in Consequences. That was the piece that had a very chaotic atmosphere, because I was trying to capture this complexity of when you lose something, like let's say like you don't have any money on your account, your credit cards are blocked, and then you get depressed, and then you have a kid, and then you have you have a husband who is the person of domestic violence abuser basically, and all those sorts of things just combined, they accumulate in the state that is completely chaotic. So I was trying to create chaos with the harmonies going with fifths in the baseline. So that's probably the shortest answer I could get.
Okay, so everything you said, I would put it in a PowerPoint, so you can have like a female view of, you know, of what, you know, of the relationship between the music and the topic. So you can, you know, show it as a musician and how you transfer that in your musical process, because I think that's one of the most important, and we're lacking on that, what I call kind of a musical representation of female issues in musical performance. So whatever you said now, put it in a PowerPoint, because it's so interesting and we need it. And congratulations.
Thank you, Patrizia. I would like to invite any other member of the faculty who would like to comment or ask a question to Anastassiya. Yes, Jerry, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can you hear me? Okay. Anastassiya, that was beautiful music, of course, and your presentation. And I just want to comment that your project strikes at the very heart and soul of Global's mission statement, which is to enact social change through the music and the arts. And you really, you know, it was so emotional and powerful, and I'm still very moved. And it's such an issue that it's just always brushed under the rug, under the table. And it's so frustrating, but and ending with the word love. Wow, I got to say that was powerful, and thank you for that. So God bless, and a little shout out to Joe, my former student at NEC, for the video work. God bless, and so thank you so much. I just wanted to add that little bit.
Yes, thank you, Joe, for helping out with the visual part. I know you're being a big part of this as well.
It's very much a collaborative effort.
I believe it. Bruno, go ahead.
Congratulations, Anastassiya. It was really deeply moving, and the music is really, really beautiful. I can't wait to be able to hear the whole thing with headphones, you know. Yeah, where to begin? Well, one thing I want to point out is that a lot of the homelessness obviously wouldn't exist if we had adequate mental health care that would be affordable to anyone. Okay, that's and President Obama, of course, tried the best he could to reinstate or to create that, but that's a very, very homelessness for a big part of homelessness could be eliminated with adequate mental health care. So I grew up in Sweden, which we have had universal health care since the probably 40s or 50s. There's still homelessness, but not to this degree. And if any of you have been in California recently, wow, it's unbelievable. Anyway, I'm very moved. I'm hard to speak now because it's very moving. The beautiful music and your sentiment and the way you present it and all the images is just really, really fantastic. Congratulations, Anastassiya. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno. Nice.
Yeah, I just want to say, just echo what everyone has said, and wow, Anastassiya, I mean, so touching, so moving. I hope you recognize the power of this presentation and your music as a force for education, as a force for change, force for healing. You know, like to me, I was just overcome by so many emotions, and I really, I'm just so in awe of what you've done. Really, it's just incredible, fantastic. And I also have seen just the incredible, you know, change over the years, and this is such a beautiful memento to everything, you know. There was two things that I'd love to mention that your presentation brought to mind. First one, there's an organization in San Diego called Voices of Our City. I'll drop their website in the chat. I don't know if similar things exist in Boston. I hope so, but this is a beautiful project that I think maybe you could somehow connect with or something. It's a choir made up of people who are homeless in San Diego, and they've done a lot of different things. And it's another great example of the power of music connected with social change. The other thing, to me, another just so powerful part of your presentation, something that I think sometimes gets overlooked. It reminds me, I had a roommate years ago back in undergrad who worked at a homeless shelter for a while. And he said that he learned there that there's many resources that are lacking for homeless people. But one of the things that sometimes is pushed under the table that people don't recognize is a lack of basic respect. And I think your presentation has so much compassion, so much empathy, and I think that's something that it offers, something very special that your presentation offers, is a type of compassion, a type of respect, a type of offering to those, because you know, we talk about inequalities, and Bruno's mentioning intersectionality ideas, right? How domestic violence, but also the prison system, how that's related to homelessness, right? And all these kind of things. It's such a complex issue, but also basic human rights, basic respect, and how we view each other. Something about your project and the compassion of your music, especially to support that statement, is so deep and so profound. So thank you for this, and just beautiful. Thank you.
Anastassiya, I just want to commend you for taking on the responsibility of being a voice to this marginalized demographic. To hear or to have a voice, especially on the female perspective, you know, these angles that they have to combat in addition to not having basic needs met. And I'd love to know, and I especially commend you and thank you for giving us a path or a leeway into what we can do to take action. The links that you've provided and the organizations that you've provided. And I'm wondering, is there a place where we can go to look and find these outside of this presentation?
That's a good question, Nadia, because now I only have it as a PDF, but it would be such a great idea to post it on probably on my personal website.
Okay, wonderful. And then, of course, you know, I say this, I don't mean, of course, your music is fabulous. And as Chase said, it's full of great compassion and thought and care. And it's just really moving to hear all of the effort and the growth and the just all of the blood, sweat, and tears into your music to of course reinforce the the importance of said issue. So thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you. I think everybody commented, so Danilo, go ahead.
Wow, Anastassiya is speechless. I'm just going back to the first time I met you. Strong eyes, look, a very body posture that shows a lot of determination, a character, and a strength, and almost at time like totally 100, 150, 200% so into that it was so intimidating and exciting because you were so. I say, Anastassiya, how are you? Are you okay? She said, yeah, I'm okay. So you had that body posture of like, I'm ready to go, Danilo. See, you don't know what I'm talking about. I've been waiting for this moment. I want to go. I want to go. And for us, what you're telling us, let's go. After a year pandemic, that is forcing us human to break with cliches and imagine new things for the world. This is not different. You're bringing a conversation to the highest level. You playing the piano and say, this is what matters to me. Let's do something about it. This is so powerful. I can't tell how grateful and how honored I am to have worked with you. Because the idea of being in this environment is that we enlighten each other as we share information. And that education must be the most active form of activism. So whoever thinks that whatever they learn is in a cement, you're challenging that. You're saying this is the way we should think. What can we do with our art? What can we awaken for humanity? I'm grateful. I give you a hug, and I'm just so honored. The piano playing, as Alan mentioned, is killing. It's coming in your music. That level of commitment, what you care about the world, makes us all proud and really wanted to go back to find more people, to continue this challenge, to continue this really effort to transcend and to come back to some kind of normal, like Toni Morrison mentioned. If you want to fly, you just gotta leave the shit that weighs you down. That's what she said. And you did it, and you are telling us, remember this, as you're teaching, as you are mentor, don't forget this. This is called enlighten. Thank you. And the only comment I can make that will be just when you look it back on some of the comments, the possibility to interconnect more issues. I mean, there's no coincidence that the black families and the Latino family are the more affected by this phenomenon of homelessness. So you have an incredible path here to interconnect all these issues, even systemic racism, gender equality, equity, all of this is here. Thank you very much, Anastassiya. It's been a privilege, and I'm honored that you have chosen us to be in this journey, in this part of your life.
Thank you so much to everyone, and thank you for all your guidance, Marco, Patricia, Alan, Nadia, Danilo, and who is not present, Terling Carrington and Larry Klein.
Okay, thank you, Anastassiya. I think we are all super emotional to finish this cycle with this presentation with you and with these words. That this is, I think, all of the people that belong to this class have really been an example of incredible resilience and creativity. And so, thank you to all of you, and we're really, really proud. And it's been incredible, a pleasure. So, congratulations, Anastassiya, and congratulations, class of 2020, Nadia, and all of you.